Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Dave from Nerdbox, and if you tuned in this week to watch the third part in What If Randy Survived Scream 2, well, unfortunately, not many people watched the first two parts. So I am bringing back Lost Horror Media because a lot of people seem to enjoy that, and we got an excellent episode to kick off Season 2 of this show. But before we do that, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe on this channel. Don't worry about the notification sounds or the button there or anything like that, because we'll be there in your subscription, so you can come in and tune in at any time to see any of the shows that we have on the channel. Now, what if I told you that one of the most terrifying horror films of the last decade almost looked completely different? No biggie, right?
Nancy?
You don't want to die of...
The inside.
Or simply rip his head off.
The 2017 remake of It could have looked very different, especially since Pennywise wasn't always going to be played by Bill Skarsgård. Originally cast for the role, Will Poulter. Yes, that's right, the kid from We're the Millers.
Is it bad?
Listen.
Hey, listen to me. It's not that bad.
Dude, it's really bad.
No, it isn't.
Have
It
you
isn't. No.
seen what
I'm
you're
not gonna
telling
look
me?
at it.
You're going to a hospital.
What? No.
How are you?
No,
How bad
no,
is it?
absolutely. Kenny, you're okay.
Oh my
Let's
God.
go. Rub some dirt on it. Let's get back in the
Kenny,
RV. Let's go.
no.
I can't
Trust
feel
me.
my bingo.
Kenny is fine.
As mentioned, Poulter was originally cast for the role, but eventually would drop out due to scheduling conflicts and a director change. But honestly, could you see anybody else playing Pennywise in the remake other than Bill Skarsgård? We'll dive into that a little bit further as we go on. But today we're going to dive into the lost scene from the film that is so disturbing it was deemed too much for an R rating. Derry, Maine is haunted by an ancient, shape-shifting evil that awakens every 27 years to prey on the children. Disguised primarily as Pennywise the Dancing Clown, the creature terrorizes a group of 7 outcasts known as the Losers Club. After a horrifying summer, they believe they've defeated it. But when it resurfaces 27 years later, now adults, they must reunite and confront their deepest fears to end the nightmare once and for all. Stephen King's 1986 novel It was inspired by a mix of personal experiences, childhood fears, and literary influences, and has haunted readers for decades. King wanted to write about the fears children have: monsters in the dark, things lurking under the bed, and the primal terror of the unknown. He took inspiration from fairy tales, especially the idea of trolls living under bridges, and he transformed that into Pennywise lurking in the sewers.
You see, it all kind of worked. I took Bangor, I took the geography of Bangor, I took some of the legends from Bangor, I made up some of my own, and I used that as the framework for my book, which is about make-believe and about legends and about how these things grow. When I wrote It, I drew on a lot of things from my own childhood. We had a Barron's when I was a kid, and all of us went down there and played around and we paddled around. I think that a lot of adults these days would be white with horror at the idea of people paddling around where the sewers dumped out and where all this overgrown foliage was and people dumped their trash and everything.
Aren't you going to say hello?
The first on-screen adaptation came to TV in 1990 as a miniseries, but Hollywood had its sights set on bringing Pennywise back bigger and bolder. And so in 2009, Warner Brothers announced a fresh adaptation for the big screen. The first attempt at adapting it started with writer David Kojanik, who had an ambitious plan to give the film an R rating and set it in the 1980s to mirror King's original 20-year time gap. However, he left the project a year later. Enter Cary Fujinaka, the visionary director behind True Detective. His vision was to make it a 2-part horror epic, like we eventually saw in theaters, only his version starred Will Poulter. But he then left the project in 2015 due to creative differences, which we all know is Hollywood code for studio interference. The studio then turned to Andy Muschietti, best known for his work on Mama. Muschietti had a different vision for Pennywise and cast Bill Skarsgård in the role. When the teaser trailer dropped on March 28, 2017, it shattered records, racking up 197 million views in just 24 hours. I did not want to see the remake of it, and it's not the usual reasons why. Oh my god, a remake, another remake, people are unoriginal, stick with the originals, blah 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 blah. Honestly, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. I didn't care for the miniseries. Tim Curry as Pennywise, fantastic. Everything else about that miniseries, god-awful. I hated it as a kid, hated it as an adult when I tried to rewatch it. No. So, what did I expect going into a remake like this? I thought it was going to be absolute trash. And then I saw that trailer, and I was hooked.
I saw something.
The clown. Yeah, I saw him too.
And when it finally hit theaters on September 8th, 2017, it became the highest grossing horror film of all time. And while what we saw is pure nightmare fuel, the story doesn't end there. There was one scene that was just too scary to be released with the film or with any of the special features released on Blu-ray. Like any film, it has its fair share of deleted scenes. Some were minor, like extended character moments, while others could have added more depth to Pennywise's origins.
Oh my god.
Is that?
I think it is.
One scene in particular stands out because it was too disturbing to go in the final cut or be released on the special feature. According to Bill Skarsgård, there was a flashback sequence set in the 1600s that would have revealed the true horror of Pennywise's origins.
I hope that there's room to explore sort of an origin and where Pennywise might have come from in the second one as well.
Within the context of the
story. There's a scene that we shot that was a flashback scene from the 1600s where Pennywise was before Pennywise.
Yeah.
And we shot it on as additional for additional shooting. And the scene turned out really, really disturbing. And it's me, we thought it shot at 3 different things, and I'm not the clown. I look more like myself. There's one where I was like, yeah, I'm not going to spoil sort of what the scene is, but because we might use it, but it's a very disturbing scene.
Picture this: a terrified woman, Abigail, hides in a well house, clutching her crying baby. Suddenly the lights begin to flicker, and from the darkness emerges a horrifying, barely human Pennywise. As the creature taunts her, he offers her a sadistic choice: her life in exchange for her baby.
Hush now. Shh. It'll be... Please, devil, leave us be.
You mistake me, woman. No, devil. I am neither.
But my child, not my child. He's innocent.
So you say. I will. And then I'll take him. And then thy husband. And the rest of thy children and all the savages who brought you here. And when you are rot in the earth, I will pick thy bones dry until no meat is left to pick. And I will seek out thy bones and consume thy souls until nothing is left but the weeds. Or you will occupy yourself otherwise and not interfere. I will take him, and then he will live. And those of thy other children of whom I take no interest. And you will thank me. Fever and frost did not damn you to the soil.
No! Out! Now! Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Muschietti has confirmed that this scene was filmed in its entirety, but has yet to be released. He felt that providing an origin tale for such an otherworldly figure of evil would have robbed the audience of the character's mystery and cheapened his aura. Muschietti did mention that it could surface in a future director's cut.
Would you like to direct another movie?
Eventually.
Maybe.
Let's talk about some controversial scenes. The Pennywise eating a baby and the orgy between the children. Have you ever considered to shoot those scenes?
Well, I think you're talking about Pennywise eating a baby is a scene that people know about because it's a scene that exists. It's not in the movie.
Did you shoot it?
I did, yeah. I cannot talk about it until it lands on some version of the movie. I don't want to spoil it.
While the scene does remain lost today, there are two pieces of media that have since been found. A still from the scene and the script itself detailing what would have been filmed. So what do you think Warner Brothers should have done here? Should they just release it in a director's cut? Should they re-release the movie in an extended format? Does this flashback scene sound terrifying, especially since we've had Terrifier 2 and 3 hit the movies amongst many other films that have come out since then? What's your thoughts on that? Let me know by dropping that in the comments below. Also, don't forget to drop a like on this video. Subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel. It does help out. Truly appreciate it if you do. If there's any lost horror media out there that you want to know about, shoot it over to me in Facebook Messenger and I will do it up for our future episode. So anyway, until the next, see ya.